Hi everyone, my name is Mrs. Maston, and I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for taking the time to watch this video to learn more about me and my classroom this year, and also to show you the face behind the voice that you'll be hearing for the rest of the time. So here we go. As far as my teaching experience, I started my career in pre-K and kindergarten, and I moved to Quincy in 2015 to teach 6th grade at Baldwin South. I'm originally from a town near Peoria called Morton. In 2016, I came to junior high. That's when 6th grade moved over, and I began teaching 6th grade science, and this is my 9th year of teaching. A little bit about me. I got married in 2018 to my husband, Zach. We have a 1.5-year-old daughter named Opal. Of course, I have to share more pictures of her. Can't deny she's pretty cute. For the units that we cover throughout the year in earth science, we start with rocks and minerals. Then we move on to plate tectonics, followed by weather and atmosphere. And we end our year with 2 units about space, which kids typically love. The Earth in space focuses more on how the Earth exists in space. We learn about the seasons and how the Earth is tilted, how the Earth rotates and revolves, things like that. And then our last unit is about exploring the solar system. So we talk about the entire solar system. For grading policies, the school-wide policy is that 60% of our grade comes from mastery, which should show things that students have learned completely. They've mastered it. So these would be things like tests, quizzes, and big projects. And then 40% of the total grade comes from practice towards mastery. So these may be things that students have not yet fully grasped, but are working towards learning it completely. And that would be basically anything else, work that we do on a daily basis. Late work is accepted until 3 days after the due date for 6th graders. If a student wants to retake a test, then all missing assignments must be completed and turned in. An average day in my class can vary depending on what we're learning about and what I think is the best way for the kids to learn. I do try to vary the way that I teach and the resources I use and the types of activities that we do, just so I can appeal to as many learning styles as possible. So we may watch videos about something. We have a lot of different things that we can do on the computer, such as Nearpod, MobiMax. The kids love Kahoot. We do also take notes, and I use something called interactive notebooks, which I'll show you in just a second. This year, because we can't do many things hands-on like we normally would with labs and activities like that, I will be doing a lot of demonstrations and showing models instead. And we do also read from our textbook. Here are some examples of things I've done in the past with interactive notebooks. So here are the layers of the Earth, so they can actually lift it up and see. For this one, there's just 4 flaps, and underneath each flap is information. For this one, there's 3 types of plate boundaries, so there are cards about each one that they could pull out to help them study. We also include things like diagrams for different activities that we do. Another example of flaps. They include something like this. And then last, this one was cool because they can actually turn the Earth to see the difference between rotation and revolution. So it makes things just a little more hands-on and hopefully more interesting than typical note-taking. For homework, I typically do not assign homework. Students may bring home things to finish that they didn't finish in class, but that even is going to be pretty rare. I try to plan lessons that can be completed within the time we have together in class. I will be posting optional activities for further enrichment on Microsoft Teams. If there's something that a student wants to learn more about, that would be a great place to look. For missing work or late work, I will be marking assignments as missing on Skyward if they have not been turned in on time. So if that's something that you are concerned about or want to check up on, Skyward is where you'll want to look. After the 3-day grace period that I mentioned before, the assignment will be marked as a 0 and can no longer be turned in. I do understand things come up. So if something has prevented the student from being able to turn their assignment in, please let me know and I'm happy to work with them. As far as my classroom expectations, they're pretty common. My first rule is I want students to respect themselves, their classmates, their teacher, and their surroundings. I expect students to raise their hands quietly to speak. Students should follow all directions quickly the first time they are given. And I encourage students to try their best and never give up, even when things get hard. A few new rules this year for safety precautions due to COVID. Students should wear masks properly, meaning that their mouth and nose is covered unless given permission to take it off. And students may not speak when their mask is off. We do take mask breaks throughout the day, and they also have their masks off during lunch. Lastly, students must ask permission to leave their seats for any reason. In the past, I didn't mind if a student got up to get a tissue or sharpen their pencil or something like that. But now, because we're just trying to keep everybody safe, we want them in their seats facing forward unless they have asked to get up. To manage these expectations, I start with verbal reminders. So I may have a whole class reminder. Hey guys, we're getting a little noisy. Let's try to keep it down. Or I may speak one-on-one with a student quietly and privately. I'm noticing you're having trouble focusing today. Is there anything I can do to help you? That kind of thing. If the behavior continues, then I may have a student fill out a behavior reflection. This is just a way to get us to be able to discuss the behavior after the fact. Sometimes in the moment, it's hard to get anything accomplished. So the form asks the student what happened, why did it happen, is there anything the teacher needs to know about the situation, what can we do to prevent it in the future. Usually if a student fills out a behavior reflection, at that point I'm also going to contact home, try to problem solve with the parents or guardians, and hopefully resolve the issue. There may be times when we notice students are having similar issues in more than one class with more than one teacher. At that point, we may have the student come in to speak with all their teachers at the same time. We may even call parents in at this time, again, to problem solve and try to see how we can fix things. And I also may ask our dean, counselor, or student support family liaison to help as well. Ways to get in touch. You are always welcome to email me at the email address listed on the screen. I also have listed my cell phone number and the school phone number. You're welcome to call or text my cell phone during typical business hours. I will use Skyward to send messages or emails for whole class updates or reminders. So if we have a test coming up or a project due date, something like that, you can find that message on Skyward, and it should also send to your email. If you're not receiving any messages or emails from teachers, please let one of us know so we can make sure that we have your information updated. If you made it this far, thank you for taking the time to hear a little bit more about me and my class, and I am looking forward to having a great school year. Thanks.